Hey everybody, Happy New Year. I hope your year is off to a great start. So this video is going to be a sneak peek at a brand new MetaSound feature that was recently checked into 5.8 on GitHub. I don't think it's been talked about yet, but I am super hyped for it. I think it's probably my favorite MetaSound feature to date, and it's still not done yet. I think it's really cool, and I hope you think it's cool. It is a bit farther on the technical side of things since it involves writing C++, but the benefits are going to be enjoyed mostly by so-called non-technical people, and it'll make it easier for folks to author new MetaSound assets. Before we dive in, just an obligatory disclaimer. Everything I'm going to show you is still highly experimental and subject to change, but it is publicly available on GitHub right now for you to check out and play around with it, just as I've done today. And I'm going to introduce it and share some of the stuff that I've accomplished with it so far. So the new feature is called document configuration, or maybe it's MetaSound configuration. I'm not sure what the marketing name is. It's kind of tricky to explain it, but I think it'll be easier to understand once I show it to you in action. But basically, you know how we have node configuration, which lets you modify MetaSound's node behavior in the details panel? Well, document configuration lets you modify entire MetaSound documents in the details panel. And so we're able to deterministically construct and edit MetaSounds using more of a data-driven approach. And so designers can set up data in the details panel. The MetaSound graph will be built automatically behind the scenes according to however the configuration was implemented. So I'm just going to go ahead and show you a new asset. And there's not much new here. You might see that we have at the top, there's a new configuration button with a few things in here. I'm going to go through those in a little bit. And then down here in the details panel, we have configuration with the same options. I believe they do the same thing. And then there's also like a button here called hide graph. I can't click on it now, but you'll see it in use later. So to start things off, I want to use a familiar example with preset. We've all seen presets before, but now presets are considered a type of configuration. And so when I select preset, you'll see now in my details panel, I have a slot for a parent MetaSound asset. And if I select one here, look at that. We've got just a regular old preset, how we would expect it before document configuration. And I can even go back and I can change it to a different one. I think as long as it's a source, it's something that I can reparent to. The inputs are not going to transfer when I do this, so they're all going to get reset to default. It'd be cool in the future if there was a way to kind of map those inputs so that you can migrate from one parent to another without losing as much of that input default stuff. But that's how it is for now. Cool. Okay, so on to the next one, which is the randomizer. This one's included in the 5.8 code, and so you can try this one out. And so you'll see I switched over to it. We got a blank graph with just an output, and then I have now some additional options here in the details panel. So I can choose one shot. Cool. It just added the onFinished interface and put the node on the graph. And then I've got an array of sounds. So if I go ahead and I just choose a sound here, boom, it just added a random get with array of sounds, and then added the wave player and a random float node. And I can change the default values here, and it will update on the graph. And it also wired up all the interface stuff. And I can toggle these things. It dynamically adds it and removes it. And yeah, I can just add more things in here. And I can play it. Awesome, it works. So that is kind of the next step. And then the last one I want to show you is the one that I was spending some time on today. MetaSound Lab is just the name of the plugin that I put it in. It doesn't mean anything. So here I've got kind of the same thing set up here with just the one shot. I can add that node. But then I wanted to play around with the idea of having like layers of sounds, in arrays of sounds. And so I'm just going to go ahead and make the first layer here. I can give it a name, or I can just add a sound, and I'm just going to add, well, notice there that when I just had one, it's only going to have not array and no random get. And then if I add another one, it's dynamically updating. So I think that's cool. Yeah, let's just add all three. I didn't wire up the one-shot interface, so I'm just going to remove that. Then I can toggle loop. So if I want my wave player to loop, I can randomize the pitch just like before, same thing. And then the last thing on a layer is I have an array of effects. And this is where I think it gets really cool. I think everything's cool, but here I can select, I set up these three, and you could add more, but if I want to buy quad filter, boom, it just added it there. I can change the inputs here on that, and it will actually, let's do like a low one. You can hear it, it's actually working. Cool. But what if I want to add another one? Let's do a stereo delay. There it goes. And then let's do like the plate reverb. And so now I've got like a whole like effects chain added to the end of it, and it's like, just in the details panel here. I can even reorder these if I want, or remove it, and it's just going to update everything as if it's rebuilding the graph each time, which it actually is. Every time I change something here, it just reruns the whole like script that is going to build this MetaSound, and so you get like all the stuff is built fresh every time. So that's with one layer. Let's add a second one. And as soon as I add one, you'll notice that I just added automatically a mixer. And so for each layer I have it just adding an additional mixer to the mixer node, and it's moving it down just to try and keep it somewhat organized. It's not perfect. Like I said, I just kind of hacked this together today, and it's not, there's still some bugs and minor issues, but I'm pretty happy with what I've got so far. I'm just gonna delete that and put that back. Oh, it didn't actually copy and paste. So let's just put some stuff back, and some effects. Sorry. That's what happens when you do it live. And so now let's do my layer, and instead of the emote, let's just do whatever, explosion 2, 3. We'll randomize the pitch, and we'll add some stereo delay. And you'll notice that as I'm doing this, like the graph is doing what you would expect it to do, provided I don't have any bugs in here, which there very well could be. But now I can change any of the parameters over here, and it will automatically update on the graph. So it's kind of hard to hear, but there was, oops, what have I done? There we go. Yeah, I think you get the idea. There's a lot of applications you can use with this, namely like just making a configuration for certain categories of sounds, maybe where you want to restrict designers to a certain set of options, or something like this where it's more open-ended and people can go crazy and just kind of get creative and make stuff. But yeah, I guess there are still some things that aren't possible. Like there's no support for pages at the moment. The script, there's like a new syntax that I'm going to show you in a second, but it uses the same code paths as like the Blueprint MetaSound Builder API, and so we don't have support for pages yet. So if you want to use pages with this, you'll have to wait, or I guess maybe there are some other options. Like one thing you can do, similar to convert from preset before, you can now just convert from whatever the name of the configuration is. And if I click accept now, my graph is editable. I can move stuff around. It behaves just as it would for as if this were a MetaSound that I built from scratch. And so it's also a really nice way just to give people like a starting point, and they can convert it, and now they have like a good starting point from which to finish the rest of their sound design. I don't have pages enabled on this project, but you would be able to implement pages here. Yeah, so I think that's it. pretty much. I do want to jump in the code and show you some examples of the syntax. So here is, let me show you the one that I set up here. So to make a configuration, you need to create a struct that inherits from the MetaSound front-end document configuration struct and override some things here. The main one is configure document. And then down here is where I have like the properties that show up in the details panel. So here's the one shot and then all of the layers inside of there. And inside the layers is where I have like the name and the sounds array and all the good stuff. But you can lay it out however you want, like I'm just playing around and trying to find some patterns that might work at like a larger scale or like have more reusability between different configurations and stuff, but you don't have to set it up how I've done it. So in configure document, you get the builder from the editor, and from the builder you can create what's called a configurator. And so the configurator is what you will be calling like the new functions with the new syntax on. Mostly going to be calling like add or set. And then there's like different types of things you can add or set. So configurator, like add, there's the FDC, which is the F document configurator. And so there's like edge to output, edge, which is like a wire, edge from input, like all these different things that you can add. And the new syntax, it's declarative. So if you're familiar with Slate, it's kind of similar to that, where you can have, let me show you the other one where this is the example that Rob has in 5.8, so the one that you can look at. And so down here, he's got a bunch of comments where like here, we're adding an input. The name is sounds. It's a wave array type. And then we're putting the sounds in it as the default. And then it's located at this location. So it reads very easily and nicely compared to the standard builder code, which is pretty verbose, even on Blueprint as well. Like this just makes it more compact and easy to write, easier to read. And it's a little bit more stripped down too. Like we don't really need to remove things because we're just building it up from scratch. So you don't have to worry about like removing parts of the graph and getting kind of messy like that. So yeah, check this one out. It's a good example. It's kind of how I started learning with stuff. Oh, one other thing you can do. So from the MetaSound graph, if you like highlight a chunk of nodes, you can right click on it and say copy selected as configurator code to clipboard. And so now, like on my clipboard, I've got some code that is using the new syntax, and you can clean it up or use it however you want. But what's really nice is that it gives you the names of the nodes. So like the namespace and the name of the node, which you can also find by hovering over the node and clicking or holding shift on the keyboard. It says class name array, random get, wave array, or wave asset array. And same with the inputs. You would look at the vertex name. And so that's what you're plugging into, like all these different things. Name is a name that you give to the node, so it has to be like unique, so you know what to refer to. And then keeping track of the location is also something I've been trying to figure out just on my own. Here I'm like trying to do like offsets and have like everything scale outward more. So as you add more things, it doesn't pile up on top of each other. So yeah. I think that's about it. I know there's probably things I'm forgetting. There'll be more details in the future as things shake out more, I'm sure, but I just wanted to put this out there so people can start looking at it if they want to and get excited, because I think this is really awesome and has a lot of potential impact for the future. So yeah, thanks for checking it out. See ya.